All right, what's up guys? VV back with another video. And in today's video, guys, as you can see on the screen here, we got some red, purple Luffy action lined up for you today. That's right, ST10's red, purple Luffy. But we got a pretty different list to show off today. I'm going to be using some of the cards from the newer sets like OP10, EB02, and ST21, I believe. We'll see as we get into the deck list breakdown. Okay, but without any further ado, guys, let's just hop straight into this video. Can't wait to show you what I got here because we got some really fun games lined up for today. Just to give a quick layout for the video, first things first, we're going to be heading over to the deck list, checking out what's going on there, seeing what we're running, getting some ideas. After that, we're going to head over to the sim. We got 5 games on the sim. We have a game against, let's see here, we got a game against green-blue Sanji, not Zanji, not Zoro and Sanji, but Sanji. Our opponent was cooking in that game, guys. We'll check that out. We might even talk more about the deck they're running than what we're running. But that's going to be a fun one to start off with the Green-Blue Sanji game. Then we have game versus Red-Green Smoker. Then we have Green-Black Issho, another very interesting game, into Luffy Reiju. And then we'll finish off with a game against Enel. And that one was an absolute banger. Okay, guys? And then we'll finish off the entire video by talking about the deck again. I'll give you guys my thoughts on it. And, you know, just my final insights on what I think about the leader going forward. Okay? All right, guys, let's do this. Let's hop straight into it. I will have everything time-stamped in the general description. I'll have all relevant deck lists and links and stuff like that in the comment section below. And if you guys ever have any comments, questions, or suggestions, please do not hesitate to put those down in the comment section below as well. Or hop on the VV Theory Discord. Link is in the channel description. Okay? One more thing before we launch. I will be streaming tonight. It is a Wednesday, guys. I stream Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays on YouTube now, right? So make sure to stop by and hang out with us on there if you get bored, if you get a chance. It's Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays on YouTube from 9 p.m. Eastern to 12 a.m. We have a good time. We have a lot of fun, and we talk about One Piece pretty much the whole time. We get sidetracked sometimes, right? We'll talk about other things from time to time, but it's mainly about One Piece. Okay, so with that in mind, let's go ahead and get into this. Let me bring up the deck list we're going to be trying out today. I've got a pretty interesting list to show you guys today, to be honest, guys. So check this out. Let me just read what the leader does to get that out of the way for the newer players. This is a 6,000 power leader, guys, not 5,000. 5,000 is the usual, right? Notice on the left here, like Odin, Zoro. Well, Odin's not the best example, right? Because he gets to 6,000 very easily. But you've got Zoro, Law, this red, green Luffy. And then Red's also had 6,000 power leaders in the past, like with Newgate, right? But with all that in mind, today we're going to be going over a 6,000 power base leader, just like how Newgate was. And it only has 3 life. This leader only has 3 life, guys, which is very, very interesting. But the activate main, this is the effect of the leader. He has activate main once per turn. If your field has 0, so 0 Dawn cards, where's my hand out? There's 0 Dawn cards, okay? Or if you have 8 or more Dawn cards on the field, you can add 1 Dawn card from your Dawn deck and set it as active. And of course, that's once per turn. So understand what that means. That does not mean on turn 1 you're going to get a Dawn from this effect. Because what will you have on turn 1? Well, if you went first, you'll have 1 Dawn. And if you went second, you'll have 2 Dawn. So you cannot use the effect that early on. However, once we get to the 8 Dawn turn, we can easily ramp a Dawn. 8 or 9 Dawn turn, we can ramp up. Also, if we go down to 0 with an effect like Monkey D. Luffy here. This is the secret Luffy from all the way back in OP05. And of course, this character lets us go all the way down to 0 Dawn. And then we can use our leader's effect when we go down to 0 Dawn, because guess what? We're at 0 Dawn, and we can ramp with it to get 1 active Dawn, and then get another active Dawn with this character's effect we'll talk about in a minute, and, you know, we'll be able to start ramping in that way. So really good stuff there. Okay, so that's the leader. Now for the deck. Okay, we're not going to talk about Nami. Guys, this is pretty much a 100% Straw Hat Crew engine. The only thing that's not Straw Hat Crew in here is this when you're at sea you fight pirates, but that's a Straw Hat Searcher card for a top 3. It's just an event I was trying out as just an additional way to get to my very, very early turn 2 Zoro Juro. We'll talk about that in a moment. Okay, so we're running Nami. We got the new 2K counter Sanji from ST21. This will allow one of your 6,000 power or more characters with Straw Hat Crew to become unblockable. It does not target leaders, okay? But it will allow one of your Straw Hat Crew characters with 6,000 power or more to become unblockable. Now, you can buff characters, right? It does not say with an original, unless it's a bad translation, this does not say with an original power of 6,000 or more. So you can buff a character up to 6,000, then play this out, and you can buff him further after that as long as he gets the effect on play, right? So really good stuff here. You can make characters unblockable. And it is not a color restriction. So, hey, maybe we can make a character like this. Unblockable. Seems pretty good, right? Seems pretty good, not too bad. And this is a 2K counter Sanji, okay? Next up, we have Nico Robin. I think I mentioned this before, I think when we did the green-purple Luffy video. I'll try to link that down in the comment section below. Guys, this is one of my favorite new blockers in the game. This is a 3-cost, 2,000 power, 1K counter blocker with an on-play Dawn -1, top 3 search for a Straw Hat type card. This card is absolutely incredible. It's a early on 3-cost character, just in case we didn't see our Zoro Juro after doing a search with Nami, after doing a search with this event, and if we still somehow did not see our Zoro, well, hopefully we at least saw Nico Robin so we can get down a nice blocker to cash in on later. Great card, especially even in the late game where you can just, you know, block an attack, gain a card from it. Seems good, guys. This is a very powerful card. Next up, we have 3 of the 6-cost Luffy. Guys, this is another card from EB02 that is absolutely... Guys, this card is absolutely cracked. It is a 6-cost, 7,000 power character, but listen to what it does. If your leader is multicolored, ours is, of course, and your opponent has 5 or more Dawn cards on the field, this character gains Rush. So this is not a character we're trying to slam down on 6 Dawn, because first of all, we wouldn't be able to anyway, right? Unless our opponent was on 5 Dawn last turn, we wouldn't get the Rush. But remember, guys, we are going to try to ramp Dawn with this Zoro, and we'll talk about this in a moment. So we might just go, you know, turn 2, going first, turn 1, Nami, search up the Zoro, turn 2, Zoro, turn 3, go straight to 6 Dawn. If we play this out then, our opponent's going to have only 4 Dawn, so we won't get the Rush. I mean, we can still cheat the character or play the character out, but, you know, it's the point, right, guys? We won't be able to get the Rush if we play this out too early. Now, with that in mind, then there's another effect on here. When attacking, once per turn, return 2 of your active Dawn cards. Currently, I don't know when they're going to fix this, but currently there is a glitch on the sim. Unless they fixed it and I didn't know, guys, there was a glitch on the sim when this character first came out where you could actually return rested Dawn cards as well with this character's effect. It's not supposed to be able to do that, guys. It's supposed to only be able to return active Dawn cards, 2 active Dawn cards, okay, to do its effect when attacking. But listen to what it does. If you return 2 active Dawn cards, set this character as active. So understand, you will swing for 7. That attack is now being processed. You're doing your when attacking effect, and you're going to stand him up. So after this battle, as long as he survives, as long as there's no crazy, you know, shenanigans your opponent has for you where they can KO your character or bounce him or whatever, then guess what? You're going to get to attack again. Now, you can't do the when attacking effect again because that's a once per turn. Excuse me. However, it is still, you know, a very powerful effect that allows us to attack twice, and this character has Rush in later stages of the game. So very good stuff there. Zoro, I don't have to talk too much about this, but I will at least explain what we're trying to do. I will go for this in my opening hand pretty much no matter what. I want a Zoro in my opening hand, and if I can't get that, at least I want a Nami or this Searcher event to try to get to the Zoro. I will mulligan if this card's not in my opening hand, and if I don't have a Nami as well to try to search 5 cards deeper for it, right? So just understand that this is a major card in the deck. We can still probably win games without it. I'm sure we can win games without it, but this really helps us out, especially when we're going first, when we can go 1 Dawn, 3 Dawn, 6 Dawn. That is a very, very big deal, because guess what that means? On the following turn, we'll be on 8 Dawn, and then we get to access our leader right away. Even if they remove our Zoro, who cares? So it is a very, very relevant when attacking effect here. This card is very important, and this card this card is pretty much like tailor-made for our Luffy, because understand what this card does, guys. A lot of people forget about this. When attacking, if you have 3 or less life, add up to 1 Dawn card from your Dawn deck and set it as active. So guess what? This leader starts at 3 life. But if you're playing against a very good, competent opponent and you're on a 4 life leader, they might not attack you if you play this on turn 2, so that you can even use the effect. So you have to be very careful there. But in this, you know, that's in 4 life leaders or more. But in this deck, guys, you have 3 life immediately, right? You're already down to 3 life as a 6,000 power leader, so you can swing right away with this character and start cashing in on the value on the effect. We are running 2 of these Luffys here. Remember, guys, I already talked about the on play. It is a Dawn -10, so all your Dawn goes down to 0, and then you get to do an extra turn after this one. So it's almost like he has Rush, but even better, you're going to get to draw a card and all that. But here's the thing. You have to place all your characters other than this character at the bottom of your deck in any order, and then after this turn, you take another turn, right? It's a 10 cost 12K, and it has an activate main once per turn. excuse me, pay 1 and add 1 Dawn card from your Dawn deck and set it as active. Well, remember, on our first turn, or when we first play this out, we will have 0 Dawn cards, right? Well, not quite. With our leader, we'll be able to ramp 1 Dawn back. Or not ramp, but activate this main because we have 0 Dawn cards, get 1 Dawn as active, and then play this out to get another Dawn as active. So we'll have 2 Dawn with only 1 remaining, excuse me, as active. And then we get our extra turn. We'll go up to 4 Dawn and then use this effect to go up to 5 with 4 Dawn to use for the turn. And that allows us to do things like play out a Sanji and sit on a Gum Gum Giant if we have to, if we're in that dire of a situation. We're running the 2K counter blocker Sanji for all the reasons I just said, and it's just simply a good card. This card also has other applications in the deck if you really need to use it, where you can actually play out this 9-cost Luffy we're about to talk about. This is an on-play, you may return 1 or more Dawn cards from play to your Dawn deck, and then he'll get draw a card, then he'll be able to draw a card and get rush. But check this out, guys. If we have to, we can actually use this Luffy, right? We can go, okay, I'm going to play out this Luffy here to go backwards in Dawn and set this card up for like another turn, right? Maybe for next turn or something. Now, it does cost 9, so let me see something. Well, we can't really do anything too crazy, but remember, guys, while you have 2 or more fewer Dawn cards than your opponent, you can actually draw a card from, or excuse me, you can play this out for 3. What am I talking about? You can play this out for 3. So this effect is very strong, and we can do things to help get under 2 Dawn with cards like this Luffy and cards like this Luffy. This one, not as much unless you plan for it for next turn. If you choose to go down 4 Dawn for the turn to go back up to 8, then play out a Sanji, and then do the effect, right? You know, of your leader to ramp a Dawn back. That is one thing you could do. There's a lot of tricks you can do with this, but it's mainly around this 10-cost character. Okay, next up is the card we were just talking about. This is just an incredible card in this deck. I haven't got to this point yet, obviously, but at the end of this video, I'm just going to give you guys a little bit of foreshadowing. This card will probably be going up to a 4 of in this specific version of the deck, and we'll talk about that as we get to it later in the video. 2K counter Usohachi, pause and read this card. It taps down a 5 unless we have 8 or more Dawn. This card's absolutely incredible. This blocker 2K counter, this 2K counter, and even this Sanji, really good 2K counters. There's a card we're not running that we probably should. I mean, I'd like to run, but it doesn't make as much sense in this deck. Is the new 4-cost Chopper right here. This is Straw Hat Searchable. It's a 2K counter, Tony Chopper. But get this, guys. It's a 4-cost 6K. Well, that's very good if you're a 5,000 power leader, right? So the same problem I feel like we had with Queen in a deck like this is the same idea with what's going on here, where it's like, sure, this is not a bad card, right? It is a 4-cost 6K blocker and a 2K counter, but we're already a 6,000 power character, right? Or leader, rather. So using this effect, how much does it really help us, right? I would rather have access to cards that can do tricks like this one, where it's just a, and by the way, this one's actually better in my opinion because it is a 6-cost character. It is much easier to tap down 5-cost or lower characters, or even just bottom deck them or bounce them, than it is a 6-cost character. Now, yeah, this isn't like a failsafe, but hey, this is potentially a 3-cost 6K blocker, 2K counter searchable, and it's purple, which is very relevant for our search with Zoro we haven't got to yet. But again, guys, I'm a big fan of this card, but it doesn't make quite as much sense to run in this deck, unfortunately, because of some other things that we just talked about, and just in general with this leader, it gives us the perfect 3 Dawn, play out the blocker. Now we have 2 extremely good blockers to play out if we do a 10-cost Luffy play, where it's like, okay, so on 10 Dawn, we play out the Luffy, we turn all of our Dawn back, we get a Dawn back as active with this effect, we use the effect with this guy to go up to 2 Dawn, we pass the turn to go up to 4 Dawn, right? We go up to 4 Dawn, we use the, 1 Dawn to use this effect again to go up to 5, but we only have 4 for the turn. Okay, well, we're probably going to be 2 or more less Dawn than our opponent now since we use this effect. Now we get to play out the Sanji for 3 on the cheap, like with this with his character effect. While you have 2 or more fewer Dawn than your opponent, this character costs 3 less in hand, right? So now we have 1 Dawn left for the turn, and we can sit on a Gum Gum Giant. Well, and now we also can play out the Nico Robin, and again, sit on a Gum Gum Giant. Whereas with the 4-cost Chopper we were just looking at right here, we don't actually have that ability. And then one more major flaw that this card has over the other Sanji we have, excuse me, I say the other Sanji we have, this is Tony Chopper, right? But y'all know what I mean. This is a red card, and we cannot search up red cards with this Zoro. And this Zoro I have been a pretty big fan of. I'm not going to lie, guys. I'm not going to lie. This card's been very nice, especially as a card just to play out on curve for whatever reason if we don't get a Zoro and we're going second. And then on top of that, it's also very good as a card to trash later in the game with some of these events like Gum Gum Jet Gatling or Gum Gum Giant. So it does have a lot of practicality at all stages of the game. Yes, it is a brick, technically speaking, but remember, guys, we only have 3 life with this leader, and we are building everything around surviving with our blockers. Like Nico Robin, this Onami. I kind of just went right over this, right? We'll come back to this. But, you know, we have this Onami blocker. We have this Nico Robin blocker. And then we also have this Sanji blocker. But then we also, think about this, guys. This, where was I going? I got so sidetracked there. Whatever the case is, guys, let me just say this. This is a great card for searching up all the blockers we need, and then we can trash it later in the game with this Gum Gum Giant, or with this Gum Gum Gatling, or with this Onami effect. We have so many ways to get rid of this card later in the game. It is really nice to have. Okay, now, we talked about Usohachi. We talked briefly about this Onami. Guys, this card is just absolutely, it's pure value. This is an incredible blocker. As long as we have 8 or more Dawn cards, which we can get to pretty consistently, pretty rapidly, right? Especially if we get an attack off with Zoro. And it's just a great card to have on the board. 4 Dawn, we get to do a draw 2, trash 1, basically. And yeah, and we're good. We're good to go. This Sanji, we'll talk more about this one later. It didn't have the greatest results in the deck, but it also was not just a dead card. It's never really a dead card because it's at least a 1k counter, so we do take those. Okay, we talked about Zoro, Jet Gatling. It's a 0 cost 3k, trash card to give it 3k, and then it has a trigger to ramp a Dawn back as active. That could be potentially very powerful with a card like Gum Gum Giant. And then we have this Searcher we talked about, and do I really need to explain this card? Pause and read it so you fully understand it. This card's incredible. Okay, that took forever, guys. That was one of our longer breakdowns up front here. Let's go ahead and dive into some games now. Okay, first up, guys, we have a game versus Green-Blue Sanji. It's hard for me to say that because I'm so used to saying Zanji in that case. But yeah, let me make sure we got the volume off, the speed on 2x. This was a very interesting game, guys. And here we go. I don't think Sanji is necessarily going to be insane or anything, but they are showing off some cool potential with this deck. Watch what they're doing here. They searched up a Pacifista with Tashigi. That might give some ideas, but watch this. We're going to swing for 6. We're going to... Hey, we got 3 of our Zoros. We got 3 of our Zoros. Not ideal. We typically just want 1, but 3, we'll take it. Okay, we get that effect there. We're going to search up a 2k counter. We already had one of the Onamis, and there were 2 others in there. We got another 2k counter, and here we go, guys. They played out an Usopp last turn, cheating out a Pacifista, and yeah, seems good, right? Seems very good. We're going to swing for 4 to ramp a Dawn. We're going to swing for 6. We're going to play out both Juros here. I actually don't like this play, but it's kind of all we had access to. They're going to swing in for 8 here. We'll take it. Guys, I very aggressively take life with my with my Luffy. They're going to swing in for 8 more. We're going to 0 cost 3k, and here we go. Okay, 5 and a 5. I'm just going to eat up all the cards in his hand. That is my plan here. Okay, they do counter out. So I'm trying to do a little bit of math to make sure I don't mess anything up here. We're going to swing for 5. We're on 10 Dawn, guys, when they're still on 5. It looks like we are going to go all in here to try to go 7 or 6 into that, and then we're going to go 8 into this. That's our only bet, and he saw it coming because of the way we had to do that, but we have to play out this Nami. We do a draw 2, trash 2. Unfortunately, we get one of the Zoros, not ideal. And then we do catch a break there. He goes for the board, but we could have 2K'd and 2K to get out of that, so it probably was smart of him. We're going to play out the Zoro here. We're going to go ahead and snag probably this Luffy or maybe the Nami. Yeah, excuse me, we couldn't get the Nami, right, because it has to be a purple card that has... Yeah, has to be a purple card. We're going to go 10 into 6. No way saves that. And here we go. We're down to, we have 1 life. We have a lot of 2k counter in hand, but we're fine. They're going to come in for 2 here. We'll probably go ahead and take this. We're at 10 Dawn, so we don't mind using our Gum Gum Giant. They only had that much left. We're going to trash probably one of these 2ks here. Go up plus 4,000 for the battle and cycle some cards. Here we go. 6 into 2, and we pretty much got him, guys. We pretty much got him right here, unless he has some kind of unblockable character. But I don't even think it's going to matter. So we're going to search with the event, search with the Nami. We're going to play out this Nico Robin, search with the Zoro. Our hand is completely fixed, guys. We have a Gum Gum Giant in hand. Now we have another one. We'll swing in for 6. Your turn. And, guys, I think right here they're probably about to just bail out on us. There's nothing they can do. We did do things out of order. We almost got punished there. If that was a Gravity Blade Raging Tiger or a Red Rock, they could have bounced back our Nico Robin. But even if they had tried to swing for 15, let me see something, guys. We have a Nico Robin on top. We could have gone +4. Yeah, I mean, it would have been very punishing for sure, but we actually wouldn't have even lost there if they swung for 15, because we could have gone, all right, pay 1 to go to 10, and then we could have gone 2, 4... And then depending on what all we drew, well, we'd have got this card back in hand. Yeah, we'd have been completely fine. Because it would have been, so 10, 12, 14, 15, 16, 17. Yeah, we would have been completely fine, guys, even with that. But that was technically not in the correct order. We should have done better sequencing there of our attacks. Okay, good game to our opponent there. That was just a fun one. We got some other ones as well. Hang on, we got, so that was against, so Red Purple Luffy versus Green Blue Sanji. Now we got a game versus Red Green Smoker. This was a very interesting game, if I remember correctly, and something very annoying happened here with a card, but this is my first time rewatching it back. I want to see if I made a mistake. It comes way later in the game on a 10 cost Luffy turn. Okay, so we're going to do a search here. We do grab a Gum Gum Giant. You want to make sure you get those early on. Make sure you don't miss them later. Excuse me. Okay, they're going to play out the Sanji here. They're not going to be able to attack because we're a 6,000 power leader. Seems good. We're going to swing for 7. They do take that. We play out the Zoro and their turn. Okay, let's see what they choose to do here. We are down to 3. Remember, guys, we only have 3 life. They're going to use the Sanji here. They're going to put 1 Dawn on, play out to Shigi. They can stand 2 Dawn as active now. They just did that with their leader effect. We see they have a 7,000 power or more character on the field. They're going to swing in for 8. We're going to take this. They're going to swing in for 7, and we're going to probably give them a 2K counter Sanji here. Okay, now this is very nice for us, guys. Watch this. I think they were a little too invested in saving this card. We're going to go 4 into 6. We have a 7 Dawn turn here lined up. We're going to go 6 into 4. And I think they saved this, if I'm not mistaken, guys. I can't remember exactly, but let's see what they do here. They're gonna save it. I don't think that was the right play, guys. I'm just gonna be honest. So right here, we're gonna grab a 2K counter with that Zoro search. We're gonna play out Nico Robin. Your turn. You just threw your whole hand away to save this card. And I mean, yeah, I guess they want to try to keep the pressure on. Okay, now it starts making more sense. They play out Hody Jones. And tapping down my blocker here. Now they're going to probably try to go for face. We are on 7 Dawn, so if this card goes, we can use the effect and still go up to 8 Dawn and use our leader effect. But we choose not to. We're going to take that hit on the Zoro. They're going to swing 8 into 6. We'll probably save this card because they can't quite save it next turn. We'll go 0 cost 3K. We'll trash the Nami. Seems good. And now they're going to swing in for 7, and we can 2K counter out of this. We are going to save that for sure. Now we're up to 9. We can go up to 10 Dawn here. We go 6 into 4. And let's see what happens here. Yeah, I think this is okay. Yeah, we're going to swing into 7 into 5. I don't think he can save this card, guys. Remember, we just did so much damage to him last turn where he countered out aggressively. He can't really do everything he wants to. So we're going to grab the blocker here. That was beautiful. We're going to grab the play out the Sanji, play out the Nico Robin blocker. And we're doing all right now, guys. We're doing all right. Now, they do pop our Sangoro, the Sanji there with the Ben Beckman. Seems good. That is a pretty good interaction there for sure. They have 4 Dawn still after doing that with Ben Beckman because of the Smoker leader effect. That is insane. They play out a Sanji. They're filling up their board. They're going to go 6 into 6. Okay, I think we are probably going to just let it go. And then we could probably just take this hit. I think we should have just took that hit, guys. But that's okay. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and take this here. And here we go, guys. Let's see what happens. So we are now at 10 Dawn. And watch this, guys. I do the effect of the Luffy. And it doesn't let me use my leader's effect here. There was some type of glitch that happened. I don't know why. But guys, it would not let me activate my leader. And that's why I'm like, you see me like scrambling back and forth. I'm like, why can't I gain my Dawn back? This is like the whole, that's the whole reason for running this leader and doing the 10 cost, shenanigans, the effect. I'm like, hey man, it didn't work. He goes, yeah, I don't know what's going on. Just report it as a bug. It's like, okay, yeah, I guess that's all I can do. So I swing for 6 at face here. It's all I can really do. That was very, very frustrating, guys, because I should have 2 Dawn right now. And watch this. Then untap for the turn, go up to 2. I would have gone up to 4, and then up to 5 with 4 ready for the turn, like I was saying earlier. We're going to go 12 into 8 here. He only has 2 cards in hand. Now we have to try to do something here. Because I was actually going to try to go for game, guys. I'm not going to lie. I was actually going to try to go for game last turn. But I couldn't because I couldn't swing for 7, and then it would have been swing for 12, swing for 10, swing for 12. But that's okay. This is probably the smarter play because I do have 2 life left. We do have a Gum Gum Giant in hand. We'll use it if we have to, guys. We will use it if we have to, right? Okay, so here we go. They're going to play out a Smoker. I actually am pretty relieved to see that. So that means they don't develop their board too much this turn. And let's see what they choose to do here. That Smoker is a nuisance, but we have quite a bit of counter power in hand if we need to use it. Okay, so here we go. They're going to swing for 7. That's a pretty comfortable 2K counter. I should just go ahead and 2K counter this, but I might take it and try to bait him into attacking into me. So I do take it. So I am literally baiting him to attack into me right here. We're going to give him a 2K counter here. Now he can't go for lethal. I probably should have taken that. Pause. Let's talk about this real quick, guys. I could have taken that hit, right? If I had taken that hit right there, and he loads up for, hang on, let me go back, because he should have 2 Dawn. There we go. If I had taken this hit, he will have 4 plus 3 is 7. He could have swung in for 12. I could easily get out of that and then swing in for, what, 9 and then 12. I could swing it for 9 and 12 next turn, but at the same time, who knows if we even go for lethal this next turn. I might not even do it. Okay, so here we go. We do know what they do next because they're going to play out the Rosinante. They're going to swing in for a pretty large number. They're going to swing in for 10 here. So I'm going to have to take that one. Excuse me. I did have 1 life left. We do take it. So now I'm going to go ahead and play out, use the Luffy here to ramp it on. We're on 6. And guys, honestly, the turn's not over yet. We can't play out the Onami to draw 2 or to trash 1 and draw 2 because we do not have 8 Dawn. We're going to go 6 into 4. Let's see if he wants to save this. He does not, of course. We'll go 12 into 7. Now he's probably going to use the blocker. That was very smart. And here we go, guys. I think we're going to slam down a Nico Robin. Yeah, sit on 2 Dawn and say, hey, I've got 2 Gum Gum Giants, even though I only have 1. Okay, Hody Jones. There you go. That seems pretty good. But I think the more relevant target here would have been tapping down my Dawn. I'm going to be honest, guys. I think tapping down my Dawn would have been a better play here. So here we go. We are basically hoping for a Gum Gum Giant off the top. I'm looking at my cards here. I have to Gum Gum Giant to do this like this, and we got one. Seems good. But do remember one thing, guys. This game should not have even been as close as it is right here. Something happened on the turn where I played out the 10-cost Luffy and I didn't get my extra Dawn, which is very, very detrimental to how this goes. So we're going to counter out of this with the other Gum Gum Giant we got, and we got into a 2K, 1K. Seems good. We'll give them the blocker here and the Sangoro. Now they can only swing 7 and swing 6. We got the 2K, swing 6. And now, GG, we can just swing 12 at face or 13 or whatever. GG to my opponent here. We'll use the effects, swing in, and they can't get out of this. Even if they were all 2K counters, he could knock it out because it would take him from 5 to 7, 9, 11, 13. Good game to my opponent, but that, again, that should not have been as close as it was. We got kind of, messed up there with that interaction with the leader. Okay, next up we have the game versus Green-Black Issho. This is a faster game, guys. I want to show kind of what a high roll can look like against a deck that maybe is not necessarily meta, just to kind of show you guys the speed that this deck can operate at. Check this out, guys. Okay, so we are going to go first and everything, and we have the Zoro. This was I had to include this game because of the curve we get in this game, guys. Just watch the curve, watch it do what it's supposed to do. They play out Sengoku, filling up their trash and fixing their hand a little bit. We swing in for 6. They 2K counter. We're going to play out a Zoro. Now, watch this, guys. Excuse me. They're going to swing in for 6. We take it. Kobe, they pop the Zoro there. So, guys, remember, this pull could have been even crazier if we'd gotten what we needed. We'll play this. We'll play out the Zoro. They did take the 6K hit. We should have swung for 7 technically because I'm not using a Gum Gum Giant this early. They swing in. We 2K counter out. They play out the Kuzan. Here we go, guys. Watch this. I'm trying to do a little bit of math in my head, and it looks like they're just going to be in very, very large amounts of trouble. We're going to go swing in for 6, swing in for 7, swing in for 7. Okay. They take the 7, swing in for 7 because they have 5 or more Dawn on their field. Now they're up to 7 for the turn. And here we go, guys. Let's see what happens here. Watch this. They're going to play out the Sengoku, cheating out the Borsalina from the trash, standing it in a turn with the Issho, and they can't even attack now. But here's the bad news. We are going for lethal here, guys. For the not quite lethal. We are going to eat their hand up immensely, but watch this, guys. Swing 6, swing 6, swing 7. We're not going to use the effect here. He's going to take this hit, and we're going to slam down this Luffy, swing in for 10. They just leave. They said, you know what, I've had enough. They have no counter power in hand. They are bricked up. But, guys, going into these, like, 6Ks and 7Ks and stuff is just absolutely brutal for your opponent. It's so hard for them to deal with. Good game to my opponent there. That was a fun one. And, yeah, I know that was a fast one, but I did want to include that one still. All right, this next game is a much closer one here. This is against Blurple Reiju. Guys, we're going to try to keep account of how many times I take out Ikiji in this game. Guys, I go against... Ikiji is a very hard card to deal with, right? The 7-cost, 7K rusher that does minus 2,000. This deck, though, I am a base 6,000 power leader. I am a 6,000 power base leader, so I get out of his attacks for a simple 2K, right? Or a blocker, of course, and we run a lot of blockers, right? Okay, here we go. They play out a Sanji. They're searching. They've got a Ikiji in their trash. Another Sanji. They get a Reiju. They're going to swing for 6. We'll give them a 1K here. There's no reason to get greedy. Okay, we're at 5 Dawn, so I think we are going to attack it a little bit aggressively here because I can still play out the Sangoro after this. So they do give us a 1k counter. We swing in for 6. We're going to slam down the Sanji here instead of the Zoro, so that way we can start drawing and giving him a target to attack into on the board so we can save life in that way as well. They play out the Reiju. They have a full hand again, guys. That card is so crazy in this list. It just draws so much. They get back their first Akiji. They're going to swing in 2 into 2 there because they -2 to the power. Swing in for 6. We take this. They swing in for 7. I think we're going to give them a 2k here. Yep. And here we go. They're going to use their stage here to fix their hand. I think they got another Akiji. Ikiji? I don't know how to say it. Okay, here we go. So right here, we're going to go 6 into face to draw a card. We're going to go 6 more into face. They're trying to trash their hand right now. But guess what, guys? We're going to slam down the 9 cost. We're going to play, and then we're going to swing 10 into 7. They can't save it. All right, 1 Akichi down. 1 down, okay? I'll call it 1 of the 7 costs because I know my pronunciations trigger some people. All right, here comes the next one. Here comes the next one, guys. Let's see what happens here. They are able to take out my Sangoro very easily because they dropped his power down by 2, dropping him to 4, so we had to let that go. They swing it for 7. We're going to take this one. Okay, let's see what happens next here. Okay, so right here, I think we can go swing 7, swing 10. We might actually, hang on. We might actually go swing 7, swing 11 if I play out that Onami. There are some options there, but I also like playing out another 9 cost 10k. Okay, we're going to trash one of them because we already have another one in hand. And we're going to set up a blocker here because I don't want to get too greedy. We'll go 7 into 5, and then we'll go 11 into 7. That would have taken a 2k and a 1k. All right, that's 2 of them down. 2 of the 7 costs down, guys. All right, we play out the Nico Robin, and we're sitting on a Dawn. We have 1 life. We have 2 blockers. We don't actually have a Gum Gum Giant, but our opponent doesn't know that. They don't know that. So here we go. They're going to play out the Reiju here. They're drawing cards. They play out a double chopper here to fix their Dawn a little bit. Seems good. Seems pretty good, right? Okay, but they just gave me a little bit of breathing room, didn't they? Our opponent just gave us a little bit of breathing room. We're going to swing in for 7. We have 9 Dawn left for the turn. We're going to swing in for 10. They're going to give us a blocker. We're going to play out another of the 10 cost, or 9 cost 10k. Rushing with that, we return a Dawn card with the effect. Now we can ramp a Dawn card back with our leader. And now we are sitting on a Dawn again with the 2 blockers. Our board is becoming insane. Our board is actually becoming insane at this point, right? Where it's like, okay, we've got some massive characters here. He drops my Luffy down to 7. Or down to 6, rather, excuse me. I'm going to Dawn -1 with that Nico Robin. I am searching for a Gum Gum Giant, guys. I promise I'm searching for one. I just don't see them. We're going to give him a 0 cost 3k here. We are not letting him have that, and I'd rather keep a blocker on the board. He's going to play out a Sanji here, and he's going to search up something else. So he got 2 of the 7 costs down. But guess what? Swing 7 into that one. Swing 7 into that one. So now we've gone through 4 of them. We've gone through 4 of the 7 costs this game, guys. We finally got a Gum Gum Giant. We're finally sitting, you know, a little more comfortably. We're going to play out Nami's here, and we're going to start grabbing some cards here. We need another Gum Gum Giant. Now we're doing very well. We're going to play out the 4 cost Zoro, and we are just fixing our hand like crazy right now, guys. We are drawing as much as Reiju is somehow, right? Okay, so here we go. Your turn. I'm still a 6,000 power leader. That has not changed, right, guys? I am still a 6,000 power leader. Let's see what they do. Remember, guys, we've gone through all 4 of the 7 cost characters now, okay? The 4 costs that bring them out of the trash. We've gone through all 4 of those that bring them back, I believe. So here we go. They're going to swing in. We're going to 2k counter out. They play a Judge. Guess what? Here comes the 5th one. Yep. They're going to grab Reiju. They're going to grab Ikiji. They don't. I guess they don't run the other brothers. 7 into 6. We'll probably just give them the blocker here because actually we could cycle. We could use a Gum Gum Giant here. I do like that quite a bit. We'll use that to cycle out a card, trashing the Zoro Jiro to draw 2. And there we go. They have the Vinsmoke Judge right now. They can only tap one of my Dawn with that effect, but hey, I don't think they want to go Dawn minus right now. Well, here we go, guys. Here we go. Let's see what happens here. We're going to go 7 into 5. They counter out. We'll go 7 more into 5. And this game is over. This game is over, guys. Calculated lethal. Swing for 7. Use the effect to return those 2 active Dawn to stand it up. And we'll ramp another Dawn. Swing for 7. Swing for 10. Swing for 11. Good game. There is no way out of this. GG to my opponent. But, guys, we went through 4, technically 5. We could have easily taken out that 7 cost character at the end there. But we went through 4 of them in the game and survived through the 5th one. And we had calculated lethal at the end by swinging 7, 7, 7, 7, 10, 11. So again, guys, That was 7, 7, 7, 7, 10, 11. 6 attacks, and we still had the blocker on the board. If it looked like we couldn't get through there, we could have left the Dawn active. We had our Gum Gum Giant in hand. We could have left 2 Dawn active. Technically, we didn't have to go all in like that if we were too scared to. And we had double Gum Gum Giant to sit on and a blocker and everything else we had in hand. Good game to my opponent there. This was a much better game that I think really shows off what this deck can do, especially against a deck that does not have a lot of removal. Okay, we got one more game, guys, and this one is a banger versus Enel. That's right, guys. We got a 15-minute game versus Enel. Don't worry, we're going to be in 2x speed. We'll get through it. We'll get there. We'll get through this. And here we go, guys. Enel is a hard matchup. It's a tough matchup for just about anyone. There's a few decks that can deal with Enel pretty soundly, but hey, it's a tough matchup, period. So we're going to play out Namis. We're searching for our big upper-end cards here. Where are our big cards? We want our 6 and up cards here. They're harder to deal with. We are going to knock them down to 2 life, so that way they're only at 5 life, right? Because we want the 6 cost and higher cards, even the Sanji in my hand. We want the cards that can survive any kind of like Yamato shenanigans. Okay, so we played out the Zoro last turn. They're going to pop it, trashing a Raigo with the Nami. I was happy to see them trash a Raigo. We do like to see that. I'm going to knock him down to 2 life here. Now play out Sanji. They can't do anything unless they want to Raigo this. They can't hit it with a Nami. They can't hit it with a Gidatsu. They can't hit it with a Yamato. They can't hit it with anything right now other than a Raigo. And be my guest if you want to take out my Sanji with a Raigo. So they trash the Gidatsu. They're understanding very early on here, yeah, that card's not going to be as good against what we're doing here. We take that first hit. We're down to 2 life. And guys, we're at 8 Dawn now, so we can start trashing cards to search for our bigger cards, play out another one, and we're going to trash more cards. We're trying to get to our top end right now, and we're not attacking their face anymore, guys. Now we are in full build-up mode, just like they are. They're about to start dropping 9s and 10 8, 9s, and 10 drops left and right? And that's fine. That's fine. We have 2 blockers. We have a Dawn active for Gum Gum Giant if we need it. We don't need it at all right now. If they attack in, we're going to gladly take this. They're not going to give us the pleasure of attacking here. We're going to go and play out a 6 cost Luffy here. Probably going to play out a Nico Robin as well over the Nami. And we are just flooding our board with blockers, guys. We are flooding our board with blockers. And hey, that Nico Robin, it is so good, guys. Nico Robin is going to allow us to search for more cards once we block with it. Okay, let's see what they choose to do here. They're going to play out the 10 cost Enel and not attack with it because they have 2 life. They can't use they can't gain any advantage. Okay, we're going to cash in on all of our Namis right now because we have 1 free board spot open. So we're going to use that Nami to find Nico Robin, that Nami to find the 9 cost. That was very nice for us, right? That was very nice. And we're going to play out another 6 cost 7K because they can attack twice. Okay, we're not going to attack in here. We shouldn't if we do. Okay, very good. We do not, so that way they can't cash in on that. We are not at 6 Dawn or 6 life between the 2 of us, so they can't pop these cards with their Yamatos. So we're very safe here. We're very, very safe here. All right, they're going to go ahead and use a Raigo to pop my Luffy here. Okay, very annoying, but also very strong for them to do that. They're going to swing for 7. I think we're going to 2K counter out of that, I guess. I kind of like taking these. I like, guys, I think I should take this. Yeah, I'm very glad I took that because that was the right call. Even going down to 1 life I don't think is unheard of here. But here we go. We're probably just going to, yeah, use the blocker, Dawn -1, do a search, we get a 2K counter. And let's see if they want to turn that Enel sideways. They don't. They choose not to turn the Enel sideways. I would consider that a play mistake because, guys, I was not going to go for that card. Now, don't get me wrong. They would have to trash a card for the effect there. And, yeah, they would have to trash a card for the effect. We're going to -1 there. We are going to swing 10 into 8. Let's see if they want to give me a blocker here. We played out our first 9 cost 10K Luffy. That card is an absolute beast in this matchup. Does he want to give me any cards? He's going to give me a blocker. Well, now we're going to +1 Dawn. And honestly, guys, there's a world where I kind of like the idea of just going into that Katakuri. Or even going at face there. Maybe even going at face would have maybe been a little more devastating to my opponent, but who knows. Okay, do they want to turn the Enel sideways? So now they had, that last turn was their one chance to really turn the Enel sideways and they would not get too punished for it, right? Right here, I think I should just use a Gum Gum Giant and fix my hand. We'll see what happens. I can use a Gum Gum Giant here to fix my hand. Yep, -2 Dawn there. And then draw 2 by trashing the Zoro. And now our hand is actually cracked right now, guys. Our hand is insane. We can 1K counter out of that very easily and still have 10 cards left in hand or 9 or whatever. They have 4 life now, or now we have 4 life between us, so they couldn't even pop a Nami. 10 into 8, you want to give me cards? That's why they're not swinging with the Enel, guys. Just so everyone's aware, they would have to trash a card with Enel and go down in hand size just to get the card back to their life, and I might not even go for their life to even give them value yet. At least not yet. Okay, so right here, we're going to swing for 6 because now we can actually attack several times into them without them being able to really attack into us. They give me a 2K. Okay, I got what I wanted. I'm going to pass the turn back. Your turn. None of my characters are sideways that matter right now. Like, I mean, yeah, they can't really go into my 10K, right? That's unrealistic. They're going to swing for 6 here. I think we just give them a 1K. Probably should have gave him an Usopp there, to be honest, or the Sanji. They're going to go ahead and pop one of my blockers now with the Yamato. I'm glad I didn't give them a blocker because now we can keep developing the board. But watch this, guys. Watch this. They're in trouble. To be completely honest here, we're actually at a point in the game where they're in a tad bit of trouble. We're going to swing for 6. Again, they have to respect that 6K attack, or we can just run them over right here. However, I'm going to set up one more turn, do everything we've been doing here to get our Dawn back. We have 2 Dawn for double Gum Gum Giant. Now, next turn, hey guys, next turn, we're going for lethal. Next turn, we are going for lethal. Look at our board. Consider what we can do next turn. We've got our leader attack, double Luffy 6-cost attacks, and then triple 9-cost 10K attacks, and I have a Usopp in my hand. Okay, so watch this. Okay, they're going to swing in for 6. They popped our guy there. We are going to counter out of this because they're probably trying to go for lethal a little bit here as well. Not literally lethal, but they're going to start trying to get cards out of my hand here. We're going to use Gum Gum Giant there to go +2. And now we can take the rest of these. We can take both hits here. It doesn't even matter. I don't think we necessarily should, but it's something we can do. Okay, let's see what they do here. Okay, our turn. Very nice. Watch this, guys. Okay, you know what? I've had enough of this game. We're going to say that our opponent either has it or they don't. We could have gone like 1 or 2 more turns like this. But now, guys, watch this. Swing for 9. Standing up 2 active Dawn to stand up our guy and take a life card. We're coming in for 9. We tap their blocker with the Usohachi. We're coming in for 9 more. What does he have? Okay, he's going to take this. He has to trash a card from his hand to get a life card back. Let's see what he gets. He got a Frankie, so he's going to get to draw a card from that, and then he's going to get the life back. Now we're coming in for 10 4 times. So 10, now that card cannot attack, and now we're coming in for 10. This will be a 2K, 2K, 2K. Very nice. And now we're going to ramp a card back, or ramp a Dawn back. We're coming in for 10 more. I probably should have just gone 9 and then 11, to be honest, guys, or go, go 9 and then 11. That would have actually been more accurate, but at the same time, you know, that's how we ended up doing it. Okay. All right. So, guys, here's the list. You know, it was performing very well. I have to say, all things considered, it did very well. This was one of those games, or one of those play testing nights where I have to tell you guys the record. Typically speaking, I will put these lists together, especially the super off-meta, like more janky lists. I will put those together, and we'll probably go like 10 games. We'll win 5, we'll lose 5, you know what I mean? And a lot of it's not even against meta decks and things like that. And you guys kind of get an idea of how that goes, right? Because that's the nature of this channel, right? Trying the more janky off-meta stuff, right? However, in this situation here, guys, I loaded up 5 games and got 5 wins. And I understand not all those were meta matchups, but guys, we did have a red-green Smoker in there and a yellow Enel. And then we saw a bunch of other really cool games as well versus like Blurple Reiju, which might be on the up. Guys, we saw a little bit of spoilers. OP11's got some Blurple Reiju action coming around the corner here. With some, I think one card, I'm going to give you guys a spoiler, sorry. But there's like a, I believe it's the blue one. Let me see the, hang on. It's the 5-cost Germa card. Let me type in Germa for purple. It is the 5-cost guy. This one, Niji. I believe there's a new one coming out that's going to be a 5-cost 6K, 2K counter with no base effect. So I think cards like that alone will just make the deck a little bit more powerful. So anyway, just trying to say that, you know, who knows? We might be seeing some more of this leader here in the future, guys. We might be seeing a little bit more of this in the future. But back to what we were saying, I do think this deck performed very well. We are at least going to talk about a few things. This only came up one time, and it did, I would say it kind of won me the game, even though it messed up because it gave me a body that would stick on the board, something they just couldn't deal with. I think this card's probably good as a 2 of, but there is probably an argument to drop this card down, believe it or not, even though it literally won us that last game, right, against Enel. This card was insane. This probably needs to go down to a 2 of in this list, and then we can go up to the 4th 9-cost Rush Luffy. So in other words, that would look like this. Other than that, I was actually pretty happy with everything. The Sanji, it didn't do a ton of stuff, but it did eat up some removal, right? Because they decided, yeah, that card cannot survive. So that's not the worst thing in the world, right? But if it does stick, it does kind of go crazy. The card does kind of go crazy. So a card we could consider as well, like maybe we do go down one of these and maybe we stay down to 3 of the 9-cost Luffy. And then there is some idea that maybe we go Luffy Taro as like a 1 or a 2 of. I could see a world, I'm going to remove the leader real quick. I could see a world where maybe we go down, down to 2 of these and then maybe even go down to, I don't know, maybe down a singular Onami, because early on this card doesn't do anything for us. And maybe we can go to like 2 of these Luffys. Maybe something along these lines. It's pretty hard to say, but let me just say this. This card has a lot of potential. This card has a lot of potential on the list, because look at the targets we can cheat out, guys. We can cheat out the Zoro, we can cheat out the Sanji, we can cheat out the Nico Robin, we can potentially cheat out the Onami, and you'd want to do that if you have, like, you know, if you're playing this card when you have 9 or 10 Dawn left, then you can play this card out even if you have 9 and go down -1 and go down to 8 and still cheat out this card with the effect and be able to do the trash 1 draw 2. So that has a lot of potential there. And what else? You know, there's this can only cheat out purple Straw Hat characters that cost 5 or less. So, you know, those are relevant targets. We can't cheat out this guy because he costs 6. But hey, being able to get out the Zoro, the Sangoro, or the Onami, it's really not that bad. And I guess technically later in the game, it allows us to fill out the board a little bit more by being able to get one of these out as well. I don't know. Let me say this. I'm not totally sold on the idea of this card in this version of like the red-purple deck. In fact, I'm going to be honest right now, guys, and say I almost think that this would be a better option that I just added 2 of the 7-cost Sanji. Number 1, we get more counter power, right? Because remember, we went down 1 of these, and we went down 1 Onami. So I guess we go up 1K counter. In fact, at that point, maybe we do just drop down. We just run a single Sanji as like an OTK card, and then we can go up more of the blocker package that we were already running in the Onami. This card right here, bring it back to a 4 of, and this actually looks pretty nice. I'm just looking at this right now, guys. Right now, this looks really good. Tell me what y'all think. Do we even need this 2K counter, guys? Maybe we don't. We're not running much red Straw Hat, guys. That is another thing. Like, when we type in Straw Hat, there are a lot of red options we can still mess around with. There's a lot of red options. Now, unfortunately, we can't play this new Zoro because it cheats out a red 6,000 power character. If it could cheat out a 6,000 base power character that not color exclusive or whatever, yeah, you may play a red character with 6,000 power base or below, other than Zoro. This card would be incredible on the list then, because then we could cheat out these little miniature blockers if we need to, like the Robin or the Onami or this Sanji or this Zoro. We could actually, excuse me. Well, yeah, we could. We could actually cheat out these 2 cards because they are named Zoro Juro and not the Roronoa Zoro. This one right here. So that would be very interesting, actually, but we can't because it can only cheat out the red characters. Very unfortunate. No fun. Bandai not letting us have any fun. Unbelievable. But no, seriously, there are some other very good options here. Even this Tony Chopper. Probably we have to be very careful with what we choose from red. It needs to be something very specific. It needs to be something very, very, you know, what's the word I'm looking for here, guys? It needs to be very specific. I think that's probably the best word, because remember, we can't search it up with cards like Zoro Juro, okay? Now, when it comes to this, some people might be thinking, like, why are you not just running the 1-cost 2K, the purple 1-cost, or not 2K, excuse me, this Law, the 1-cost Trafalgar Law, because this is a 1-cost body. It is a 1K counter. It can do a top 4 search for cost 2 or greater cards with the Straw Hat or Heart Pirates type and add it to your hand, and put the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. I'm not opposed to running this card. Let me say that. Now, at the same time, remember, we can't search up Gum Gum Giants with this card. Is there a more relevant card to search up with this card, especially later in the game with the Gum Gum Giants? I think the answer is no. I'm going to be honest, guys. And we also cannot search the card up with this Zoro. Now, we can search up Zoro with this card, but we can't search it up the other way around, which isn't too bad. It's not the end of the world. But I will say this. For those who want to run 2 of this Trafalgar Law, I think you absolutely can. Did we have an open spot, guys? I think we had an open spot. Let me load the deck back in. Okay, so this is the standard deck. So, guys, I think in this current version you see right here, you can add Trafalgar Law. And it says, let me see something real quick. Top 4 search, reveal to 1, cost 2 or greater card. Yeah, and it's not color locked, so we can search up red cards technically. So we could search up even the 2K counter Sanji if we need to with a card like Trafalgar Law. So maybe we drop 3 of these and go up to 3 Trafalgar Laws. And like I was saying, maybe we also even drop a singular one of these and just have 6 searchers and go up 1 card somewhere else. Now, we cannot search up the Gum Gum Jet Gatling with the Trafalgar Law. So there are 2 cards we cannot search up with Trafalgar Law. That would be the 1-cost Nami. Well, excuse me, 3 cards. That would be the 1-cost Nami, the 0-cost Gum Gum Jet Gatling, and the Gum Gum Giant. And of course, it can't search up itself, right? Because it can't search up a 2 or it has to be a 2 or greater, right? A 2-cost or greater card. That is Straw Hat Crew. So this is something, you know, this is probably a slightly better direction for the list. Like I was saying too, I do think we can just go down to 2 of this card. I think that would be acceptable, dropping down to 2 of these, and then maybe going up something else as a, you know, maybe going up the 4th 9-cost. I do think there is something to be said there. I think that could be very decent. I feel like we had a card here now. I'm forgetting what it was. Let me see if I can go through these one more time. Yeah, I don't remember what it was. I feel like I had added 1 more card to the list as to change this out. Maybe I didn't. Yeah, I don't know, guys. Anyway, whatever the case is, I think if we do things like this right here, we'll have 2 open spots, and we went up a 1K counter already by, you know, changing out the 2. We went up 2 1K counters by changing out all 3 of these searchers to go up 2 of the Trafalgar Laws. And then if we go down one of these Luffys here, we have 2 spots open to go where we want with them. And we can even go up to 3 spots if we want to go down to just a single of the 10-cost Luffy. I do think the 10-cost Luffy is very good. Oh, it was the 7-cost Sanji. That was the card, guys. I think we can go up like maybe 2 of these. And then let me bring back the 10-cost Luffy. There we go. I'm going to say that I think this is actually a very good spot to be in for the deck. I think this is very good. I'm going to remove the leader so we can see it all on the 2 lines. And this feels pretty good to me. We need to do more testing against the more meta matchups, of course. I'm not denying that. I understand. But I do think this is probably a pretty decent direction to go with the list. What else? I do think there is some potential to maybe even like, so I like having the searcher here. I like having all this extra card draw. We're running 6 searchers. We're running a blocker that draws cards. We're running 2 blockers that draw cards right here, and a 4-cost 6K body that draws cards, a card that rushes that draws cards, and even this card draws cards as well, right? This does a trash 1 draw 2. I mean, this deck draws cards, guys. It is pretty insane. But one thing I was going to say is a card that would probably be pretty nice in the deck is like a 1 or a 2 of is a card like this. This is a nice card, guys. And I'll say this for the time being, if you're just trying to make this list work for like the right here, the right now in OP09, because this is OP010.7 or whatever they're calling it with EB02 and ST21. But if you're trying to, and OP10 of course, but if you're trying to make an OP09 list, excuse me, what you can do is you can drop down. You can't run that card. That's gone. You can't run this 2K counter, and we don't have this blocker yet. So here's like the base, the base core of the deck that we have to work with. Well, from here, so we got rid of 2 2K counters, so we can actually, let's go up to 2 2K counters like right away. And that would probably be, I would say the 2 2K counters. I'd want it to be something we can also search up with Trafalgar Law. So it can just be, honestly, it can be any 2K counter you want to. That's also something like, you know, searchable by the Straw Hat Crew. So maybe we can go up Sanji, but that's not as good in this deck. Maybe even this Franosuke for an extra potential rusher later in the game. Maybe something along these lines. I'm just going to add this for now. Let me see something. This is a 2K. Oh, this is Frankie. This is not Straw Hat Crew, unfortunately. So this is probably our best bet for now. I'll go up 2 of these Frannosukes for the time being, but I do think the natural shift later when we get access to it in ST21 will be this card. I do think this adds quite a bit to the deck because it can give one of our characters unblockable if needed, and if you combo that with the 6-cost 7K Rush Luffy we already looked at, that sounds like it will be insane. And then after that, guys, so there's the 2K counter we missed. We lose the blockers, so let me type in blocker. And so we lose the Nico Robin blockers. At that point, I do think we go up 2 more Trafalgar Law, and then maybe 2 really solid utility blockers that are searchable by Straw Hat Crew. I kind of want to stay away from the Frankie, but it's not a terrible idea as just a 2 of in the list. But let me see if there's anything else we might be able to mess around with real quick. We got the Onamis, obviously. Look at this card, guys. The font on this card looks really weird in the in the sim. But okay, I think for the time being, maybe we just go up 2 of these little utility blockers, guys. If you want to, you can go up the Frankie or even something else. If you want to go up like Queen or something, it's your decision. Or let me see if there's a 2K counter for, or excuse me, a blocker. Maybe even this card for the time being to help us battle for the board. But it's not searchable by our Zoro. Okay, but then we have 4 more spots open, and so we lost. Oh, we have to get the. We should have 2 spots open because we forgot to put in the searcher for these. Okay, so now we're up to 4 of these. We added 2 more, and then with the remaining 2 spots in the deck, remember it should be. We only need 50 cards because I took the leader out. Let me just go ahead and add the leader back so it's not confusing, actually. So here's the leader, so we need 2 more cards. I think for the remaining 2 cards, guys, I think we actually could, again, this is for the time being, maybe we do introduce 2 of this 7-cost Luffy. So here's the whole deck. I'm going to remove the leader now. We can add in 2 of this Luffy and get some extra value in this way where we can play these out. Or if you don't like this card in this version of the deck, which I do understand, guys, our ramping is not totally consistent, so I do understand not wanting to run this card. You have a lot of options to replace it with. You can run more Sanjis. You can run more of the 9-cost Luffy. You can also, even if you're feeling really crazy, like you just really want to make sure you ramp Dawn, you can even do things like this. Like take out the 2 Trafalgar Laws, take out the 2 Luffys here, and go up 4 of the Bancaray Bentham. This card right here, if you just want to introduce more ramp. This is an option. I don't necessarily think this is the right way to go with it, but it is an option. All right. Okay, I'm done, guys. That's it. I'm done yapping. Here's the list we got here. Hope y'all enjoyed. Please tell me what y'all thought about this in the comment section below. Yeah, red, purple, Luffy, guys. This is like where we're at with it right now for the OP10, 0.7 meta or whatever they're calling it. The list seems like it's going to be very good, and it was actually a lot of fun to play, guys. This is one of those, like I was saying earlier, just to finish out my thought, I queued up 5 games and got 5 wins, I believe. It might have been 6 games and we got 5 wins. It was something along those lines, but it was... I know we didn't go against a lot of meta stuff, but hey, that's a good starting point for the deck where maybe we need to start introducing some specific tech cards against meta matchups. Tell me what y'all think in the comment section below. All right, guys, I'm done. Hope y'all enjoyed. Please do not forget to like and subscribe. Let me go ahead and put on the outro page now. We finally have a decent outro page, much better than it used to be. There we go. Thank you guys to everybody who, guys, if you're liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting, viewing, or whatever you're doing to help out the channel, if you've been helping me, supporting me in any way through Patreon, PayPal, or donations, playmats, buying the playmats, YouTube members, Discord community, you name it, guys. If you're helping me out, I appreciate it so much. Thank you guys so much for all that y'all do. What an incredible community we have here in the One Piece TCG. One more thing I want to say before we leave. Remember, guys, we will be streaming tonight. It will start at 9 p.m. Eastern and go all the way to 12. And, yeah, we're going to have a good time on there. Make sure to stop by if you get bored or if you have nothing else to do. Okay? All right, guys, I'm done. Again, I want to know what y'all think about this. This was a pretty interesting video. I think this leader has a lot of potential. Red, purple, Luffy. What are you guys running? Are you guys running more of a traditional go tall list? Or are you starting to lean more towards the purple straw hat package? I'm really curious to know. All right, I'm done. Hope y'all enjoyed. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Till next time, guys. Peace.